As I was telling you before, I'm here to talk about my last experiment, what I'm working on at this point. And the whole idea became with the principle of the oscillation. You know, as you know, the oscillation is that back and forth movement. So for example, many common objects like a bell, when you hit it, after a while it keeps vibrating, oscillating. But the oscillation can be also influenced and induced by a steam thread of air passing by. For example, in the how do you call that? Vent. In the vent, yeah, with the threads like this. When the air blows, it keeps moving in a continuous way. That oscillation. So this flow-induced oscillation can be create sound also sometimes if the parallel surface they are close and thin enough to create that vibration. You know, like in the threshold of a door when it blows wind, for example, or in a chanter reed. You know what is a chanter reed? This is a chanter reed. It's actually, you can find this in some aerophone instruments, you know, like a saxophone or a bagpipe. I'm talking about bagpipes. So this instrument, it was developed by Romans around the 6th century, but the bagpipes continue to be played even today through a large part of Europe, even here in the Gulf, in the Persian Gulf, as you know, in North America, North Africa, etc. But of course, the greatest visibility of this instrument is the Great Highland bagpipe from Scotland. So, but let's shell this bagpipe, okay? So, to begin, of course, the main element of the bagpipe is the bag. The bag is the main piece of this instrument, and it's a air straight reservoir that can hold the air and can be used to regulate its flow. So the player keeps the bag inflated by blowing air into it through the blowpipe. And many materials are used to create that bag. You know, it depends on the region, but very often it's made out of animal skin. So it could be a dog, a camel, a sheep, or whatever is local. So then there is the air supply. There is that stick that goes into the bag, and this is the most common method to supply air into the bag. So in some pipes, the player must cover the tip using the tongue, but now the pipes, the modern pipes, they have a non-return valve that doesn't need to put the tongue anymore. And then the pipes. So the pipes are those chambers where the air is enclosed and in different tonalities right before the air puffs out, generating the sound. And then here is where the chanter reed acts, generating that sound. You know, so the note is produced by that chanter reed, which is located on top of the pipe, and the parallel board about vibrate, creating the different notes. So, in theory, we could compare this bagpipe system to the myoelastic aerodynamic phonation, otherwise the voice phenomenon. So, for example, to do the compared anatomy, the chanter reed would be compared or related to the vocal fold, right? Then pipes to the trachea, and of course the bag to the lung. Okay, and so now my experience is focused on of course, using the theme of this conference, this fundamental specimen, which is the mouse, to study this theory. So actually, the respiratory system of a mouse is on the vocal fold. It's like compared to the human, it's like a very simplified system. So using the same mechanism as the bagpipe, we can obtain a sort of musical instrument using a dead mouse. But there is a particularity on the mouse anatomy. Actually, the right lung of the mouse, like in all other small rodents, it's bigger than the left one. This is because the heart occupies a larger cavity in the thorax. So we are focused now on the right lung of the mouse. So, because we don't have the air supply in the anatomy of the mouse, we are putting a spike, a little spike in the lung to supply the air and make the lung blow. And provocating the pressure through the trachea, creating the enclosed air below the glottis, you know, right like in the pipes of the bagpipe. So once this pressure is high enough, the vocal folds are blown outward, and through a single oscillation puff of air, creating the sound. Okay? But now, due to the simplicity of the mouse vocal fold system, in order to create a full chromatic scale of notes, we will need to multiply the subjects, and by using different sizes and different levels of pressure until completing a full musical set. So now, in practice, I want to show you a little demonstration of the device, the real device. Of course, I shot the real device to create a kind of interactive video that is set in that screen. And I'm going to play you that little demonstration. Now, of course, the idea is that you can play afterwards. If somebody knows how to play the piano, you are more than welcome, because I'm not a musician, but I will try to show you how that will work. So if somebody wants to play better than me, I try.
Questions?
Yeah. How long did it take you to find all the scales? Because that is like a number of mice, different sizes.
Yeah.
Luis, do you mind moving here just for the lights?
Yes. Yeah. So there are 25
And how long did it take you to find all of them? You had to experiment quite a bit with that.
Well, there is a little, also I need to confess, there is a little tune afterwards in post-production to make the sound tune a little bit better with the notes. But we have different scales by creating different pressures and using the different size of mouth.
So it seems like a lot of research went into this, into the making of this. How have you performed, and in what settings have you actually performed, and have you performed it in science conferences? Like what is the ideal stage for this?
For this installation?
Yeah.
Well, it's for you to play. No? I did it for that, so now it's already released to the world. Yeah, it could be in a art space, or in a scientific space, or in a school. At school.
Have you thought about using different animals?
Not yet, but yeah, maybe bigger ones.
Do you really need to use animals?
Sorry?
Do you really need to use animals for that?
If I need,
Do you really need to use animals? You can use something...
like a bagpipe.
not like it, but something that reproduces one. the idea. Because, it's a dissection of the idea. It's we
It
don't
won't
need
be-
animals.
It won't be the same idea already.
How old are they? Because we know that the older the mouse, the vocal cords has special links. So how old are they? Like small, 1 year, 6 months, 2 months?
I don't know. I have already bought it like this, so I think there are some fetus before being born, and there are some others should be several days, and maybe the bigger ones a couple of months or something like this.
Because small, the longer, the short is the vocal cord, so
Yeah.
the frequency will be higher.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, something.
Where did you find the mice? Were they donated from labs or?
At the reptile store,
That's good.
because it's their food.
Oh, have you encountered any challenges just with environmental activists, animal rights groups about using these mice, using these dead mice to make sound?
If I have already?
Have you encountered any challenges with environmental activists or animal rights groups?
Not yet, because it's the first time I present this, so I'm expecting it.
How would you respond if
I don't know yet, we'll see.